Hello there. Welcome to another talk. This is the fourth time I'm trying this, which is amazing. One thing, an interruption, another, someone at the door, and oh. But surprisingly, I'm still in a very good mood, which is, I don't know, unearthly or something. But maybe we'll get to do it this time. Uh, well, it is what it is. So, but anyway, this talk is called "The Narcissist Resents Your Happiness." And you might ask, why does the narcissist resent your happiness? Well, because they have deep rooted issues. Like, a good example is, me trying this talk. This is the fourth time now. You know, Now for a lot of people that might be annoying. But the narcissist has this annoyance trigger at lots of things. You see. Uh, and they, like I say, they get triggered by so much stuff. They have so much deep rooted issues, and they would certainly not be doing a talk like this for the fourth time, because they'd be far too triggered. But and like I say, healing these issues is the goal. So I don't come on here and do these talks to bring down anyone, because like I say, that we all have an inner narcissist, you see, and once you start to work on that instead of demonizing, well, pretty much a lot of people did that, then a lot of problems would be solved, you see. But of course, the narcissist has got this deep shadow within them. And what people a lot of the time do, until they wake up spiritually, is they push out that which triggers that which is within, that which needs healed. You see, and they do this a lot of the time unknowingly and unconsciously. They get triggered at the least little thing. Uh, yeah, they get triggered at the least little thing. Least little thing annoys them. You can hear children outside, and that's what it is. But yeah, and so they don't do any inner healing work. And, chosen ones are not chosen because they're special or better than anyone. They're chosen because they decide to be chosen. That's it. And so the narcissist resents your happiness. Well, that will happen until the narcissist wakes up, but it's a conscious decision. It's a situation where you have to decide to go within yourself. And then you'll go in this pathway, then you'll start to heal yourself. It'll take many years, but over time you'll see that you're healing. You won't get triggered so much. You'll be able to do a talk for the fourth attempt, and it doesn't really bother you that much. Even things that would be normally frustrating, they fade away. Because that thing that was getting triggered, see, when we get triggered, what's happening is the situation is triggering off something within us, and then we go into this post-traumatic stress state. That's really what a trigger is. And the stress that's manifests itself is the unhealed issues, which can be this life, can be past lives, can be your family bloodline, because their issues is within you also. But when someone isn't doing that healing work, they're so unhappy. And evil, what is evil? Evil is just a person that they feel so bad, and then it bubbles over to the point where they no longer care. And then they become cold, and it just escalates and develops. And then the person has no emotional consequence for his or her actions. You see? And then it can become potentially dangerous at that stage. And through explaining that, we now see the problem with a lot of the world. Mental illness, physical illness, they're all related to the same thing. Where people have lives and they develop traumas from those lives, but awakening is a inward decision. You've got to be brave enough to face those issues without running away from them or escapism. Christ is going to come down and save me. No, he's not. It doesn't matter what religion it is or what form of escapism or drug, alcohol, food, addiction, whatever, it doesn't matter. And none of these things can provide the everlasting joy that you're really looking for. And that joy isn't everlasting because of these traumas. So it's a constant thing to keep distracting yourself. And the pain just develops itself even more. Anchors in even deeper. And so, like in my talks, it's not just about bringing down narcissists, it's about giving the solution. If I wouldn't have had this awakening, I would have been a complete opposite pathway. So that gives me a bit of insight into the narcissist, you see. But the reason they resent your happiness, like I say, because they are so unhappy. And it triggers them. And it triggers them because they aren't willing to go on that same inner pathway as you. They can do it, but it's easier to just be resentful. Well, so the ego is telling them, but in the long run, it's just going to escalate. That pain is going to escalate. It'll go to certain body parts. It'll attract negative situations and people. So this resenting or being resentful towards other people's happiness is not really making the narcissist happy. So what's the solution? Well, you've got to be brave enough to face yourself. Tap into that Christ within yourself. And it'll be painful at the start. But that is the solution. But the further down this toxic road you are, the harder it is. My awakening came at the age of 24. 36 on my birthday, so nearly 11 years on this path. And but if you face them now, then later on you're going to be able to enjoy yourself, because you can't really enjoy yourself while you've got these issues, because nothing's really going to work. You might think it's working for a little time, but it's not really going to work. You see? So it needs to be about what is making me feel this way. You know, when you're triggered, that's a good opportunity. When you're triggered, as soon as you get that trigger, pay attention to what you're feeling. You see, it'll speak to you, it'll communicate with you, because you heal it by feeling it. I mean, when you're being resentful towards people that are doing well in their lives, that are healing or whatever, when you get triggered, you know, pay attention to that trigger. What that state is that you're in is post-traumatic stress. And what's the traumatic stress is ultimately the trigger. If you feel that traumatic stress, or meditate even on it, in that moment, or feel it, let it speak to you, you'll get a glimpse and it'll show you what the problem is. It'll be a situation that happened that you haven't properly healed or digested spiritually. You see? And the more you do this, then the more you heal. And when you're healing, you're ascending. And then you can pass it on. And that's really why you're here. You know, all the other stuff doesn't really matter. It's to do the healing and pass on that healing by just being the example of what to be. And it sounds easy, but it's only for the brave heart, you see. And perhaps one day you might have a whole planet following this journey. That might be a long way off, I don't know, but you know, the people that are given that example right now on the path, the way, are doing a great job. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Because this particular planet needs ascending. And that's why a planet that needs to be developed spiritually, that is a very important planet. Because a planet in itself is like a being in its own right. And planet, space, they interact like people. So that's why healing's important, because energy just transfers. It's better to have healing energy, ascension and all that stuff than negativity. Negativity was important to learn from it, but ultimately it was there to teach you and to teach us and as an ascension tool. So it has a point, it has a purpose. But you're the human being's one purpose on this planet is to heal themselves from their traumas and ascend. That's it. The path of Christ. So instead of wanting Christ to save you, well, you know, save yourself. Because, you know, wanting someone else or another entity or energy, whatever, to save you is all very well, but you know, it's a global thing. You see, that's what the awakening is. It's a global healing path, and that's your one job. That's our one purpose on this planet. And so maybe instead of, you know, if you feel narcissistic, if you resent someone's happiness or someone else does, then it should be about being the example. That's all you can be, is the example of what to be. You know, follow the way of, if you're religious, you believe in your religious figures, well, do what they would do, which is the inner work. That's how ascension happens. You see? And I just heard in my head, the heart is the way, yeah. Because, you know, some mediums, psychic mediums, even say that the heart is the energy of what Christians call heaven. And it's weird, just as I say that, the music I've got on, I just saw, as I said heaven, I just look at the screen where the music comes from, it's a white, like, angelic bird. So, that's confirmation to me that I was meant to say that when I did, so. But as always, you know, my talks are always about helping, not bringing anyone down. And showing, you know, the way. And I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates and talks and news and research and much more, please do visit my website at www.lovelikefamily.com. Thank you.